Come with us on a journey to Greece and discover innovative beauty solutions that are time-tested. Powered by the Greek flora, Korres harnesses a wealth of plant species that exist only in Greece. We handpick our Greek botanicals and extract them in our own labs. By combining the best of nature with science, Korres delivers powerful results in each product. Immerse yourself in the beauty of Korres on HSN and hsn.com.
Okay, so I'm not gonna be shy about it. I like to eat. I'm a real foodie. And I'm telling you, we've got some tasty foods, and they've all been curated just for you. Grab a seat and join us. Good Eating with me every Monday at 5 p.m.
HSN's first big sale of the year is here, and the deals start now. Enjoy 5 flex pay on everything and low sale prices on thousands of your favorite items, plus free shipping when you spend $75 on clearance. HSN's first big sale of the year, now through Monday.
Well, it's always fun when we break bread with our friends and family, but it makes such a big difference when it is fresh baked bread that you are going to break bread with. I can't believe I got all of that out without just completely stumbling all over myself as I usually do. We have an amazing price on this bread maker, and it does so much more than just make bread. That's the really cool part. You're gonna be able to do all kinds of things in here. They are listed right here in the front. You have these little buttons that you push, so you don't have to study the directions or instructions or anything else, because he's made it so simple, so easy. $50 off. This is a very special sale price that you are looking at right here. With the 5 flex payments, with the free shipping and handling, you get to bake fresh baked bread every single day, simply, easily, and you will control all the ingredients that go in there. But this does everything. It needs it. It lets it rest. It does everything except put your butter on it, okay? Or your jam. You're gonna have to add that yourself. $20 on your credit card. I'm just gonna encourage you to try it, because if you have never made bread yourself at home, chef number one, my mom used to make bread, but she did it so occasionally because it was such a hassle. It was a huge, all-day process. Let it rest, do this. This does everything, but let me give you a quick update, which is, if you want the turquoise, 190 left in the turquoise, so we're counting these down. We do have 600 if you want it in the black, and we have about 1,000 if you want it in the white. The white has been, I believe, our best seller. And so many things that you can do with this. It's kind of a shame just to call it a bread maker.
Well, Alice, the bread making process is this: knead, prove, rest, knead again, knock down, bake. You know, like, there's a lot that goes into it. And guess what? With this machine, all you do is press a couple of buttons. We've given you all the recipes. So all you're going to do with all of these recipes, by the way, there is 19, and I'm going to show you them all. What we're going to do is we're going to open this up. Now, to use this machine, let me just show you that. You press menu, right? You'll cycle through all 19, which are pre-programmed in there. So all you have to do is weigh out the ingredients, choose the one you want. Then you choose the weight. It can be 2 pounds, 2.5, or 3, right? So you go through, you choose which one you want. Then you choose the color crust, dark, medium, or light, and then you press start. It is that simple. So once you've pressed start, first you pour in your liquid. So we start off with a little bit of water and a little bit of oil. Next you dump in your flour, right? And you'll see it working away. Then we've got a little bit of salt, a little bit of sugar, and a little bit of yeast. You close the lid, and you come back to beautiful bread. It is that simple, Alice. You just throw everything in. Now, over here, I've got a country white, and check this out. These breads have all just been baking. If you heard some beeping before, that was what the beeping was, because it does beep quite loudly to let you know, hey, your bread's ready. By the way, Alice, you don't have to wait hours for it to be baked. You can actually preset it, and if you preset it, and then it'll bake overnight, so you wake up to the smell of fresh bread every morning. The blade may stay in there. Now, if the blade does, we give you that little hook, and all you do is you just pull it straight out like that, right? Because that, obviously, we don't remove after that. I don't make you go in there. I mean, Alice,
look at the texture.
Come on.
Right?
Crusty on the outside, perfectly soft and fluffy. You can see the structure of that bread. It's like it came out of a French bakery. Now, the flavor, of course, By the way, this is a Japanese butter knife. It is a brilliant little butter knife, and what you do is you run it over the butter like that, even cold butter straight out of the fridge, and you see you get these little strands, which then make it very, very easy to go ahead and spread. So that's another little tool that we have. But I'm just gonna have a little taste of this beautiful, crusty, white French bread. Oh my goodness, Alice. I gotta tell you, fresh bread could resolve wars. It is so good.
It is a peacemaker.
Oh, it is. It really is. I mean, you know, when you have people quarreling, you should say, come over to my house. They walk in, they smell the bread. Then you do this. I got some brioche for you. And then you put it on out. Now, this brioche recipe, of course, is coming to you as well. Blade stayed in there, so we don't have to go looking for it. Then what you do is you cut, I mean, look at that brioche.
That's amazing.
It's just so perfect. The smell. Alice, if you've never baked bread at home, I got to tell you, it is an experience you can't miss. It's like giving a child a trampoline. You've got to watch them jump up and down on that trampoline at least once in your life, and you got to make fresh bread too.
That is so true. But you know what? This is the memory you create that will stay with your children, that will stay with your family forever and ever and ever. My grandmother in Miami used to live across the street from a bakery. We would walk outside just to smell the bread that was baking at the bakery across the street. Nothing like it. Listen, turquoise. We have 150 remaining now. These are going so fast, guys. In the black, if you want it, 500 remaining. And in the white, just about 1,000 left in the white. 5 flex payments. Please don't miss the opportunity to so simply, so easily, so quickly make some of the best bread you will ever put on your family's table and into your mouth. It will melt in your mouth. But again, simple and easy, programmable. You do not have to do anything except just add flour and water and a little yeast. That's it. And Chef, I love that it's kind of a slim design too, so it's not going to take up a lot of space.
This is the tomato and rosemary here, Alice. Now, by the way, don't be restricted by our recipes. You want to throw some olives in there?
Yeah.
Be my guest. Experiment with it a little bit. I'm cutting the rosemary and tomato. I'm still eating the cinnamon and raisin because why wouldn't I eat the cinnamon and raisin, Alice? It's so delicious.
So do you add the raisins in when you add the initial ingredients?
You do.
Okay.
Different recipes will give you different instructions, but we've made it all very, very easy, so you're not having to, you know, like I said, the process of making bread is complex. There's a reason bakers do what they do, and they do it very well. And us people at home, we just don't figure it out very often. But with this bread maker, you know, like this one, for instance, once the bread's fully proofed, it will beep and ask you to add nuts. Now, that's an option. You don't have to add those walnuts, but it is pretty nice. And you see the walnuts as well are through the bread. Look at that, pumpkin and walnut. I mean, absolutely fabulous and very, very simple and easy. The thing that I love so much about this is there's just so many great options. I've got a whole wheat. There's an incredible gluten-free. I tell you what, if you know someone that's a celiac or just gluten intolerant, even just a little bit, it really is worth getting them this bread maker, because I tell you what, I mean, feel the crust. Listen, can you hear that? All the way around.
Yeah,
you hear that crusty crust.
Every one of them is perfect. But you can also do yogurt in here, right? You can do.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
If you just bought a yogurt maker, you could spend more than this just for a yogurt maker. I mean, that does one thing.
You're absolutely. You know what? You mentioned yogurt maker. Let me show it to you. I think we've got it back here. The yogurt maker's back here. We've also got a rice pudding setting on it, Alice. So if you get me a bowl, Vanessa, I'd love to show everyone. Thanks. My mum had a yogurt maker, and she's very proud of her yogurt making ability. Thank you very much. But check this out. There's my yogurt. So look at that gorgeous yogurt creamy. Every single time. How creamy and perfect is that? You add a little bit of fresh berries. And then, by the way, I've got out of my breakfast kit, this is granulated honey. It's another alternative sweetener, you guys. We've got granulated honey and granulated maple syrup. You'll absolutely fall in love with those. And here's the rice pudding. So, again, this rice, my kids love this rice pudding. It's not overly sweet in the recipe, so you can add a little bit of my maple and walnut syrup, which comes in my brekkie kit. So there you go. Now, I'm going back to my breads, Alice, because you can't keep me away from them. And you'll be the same way once you get it at home. You'll just bake that bread, and it's like an occasion. You know, we think of bread as just a commodity, like it comes sliced from the grocery store and whatever. It doesn't taste the way bread used to, and we all know that. And here's the deal, because it's not baked fresh And if you bake it fresh, every time it comes out, they say chicken soup's good for the soul. Chicken soup needs some bread. And this is good for the soul as well because, oh my goodness, that is got a little orange peel in there. There's some nuts. It's just so simple and easy to do. And of course, we tell you all of the ingredients. Oh, this is one of my favorites, a jalapeno cheddar, right? So again, if you don't like the jalapeno, just leave it out and do a cheese bread, no problem. You can adapt these recipes very, very easily. Of course, the non-stick, you can see them all just falling out. You know me and non-stick. We make it as easy as humanly possible for you. So look at this gorgeous cheesy crust on top. You know, so yeah, you can slice it this way. You can slice it lengthways like I am, but either way you get this incredible texture and suddenly bread becomes something that you don't just like, you absolutely love.
But you know what, there's something wrong with the bread that we're buying now in the stores, and the fact that it can sit on your counter for like 2 weeks. And it's crazy. Still okay. I mean, what are they putting in the bread? What preservatives do you have in that? Instead of that, bake it yourself. Number one, it's so inexpensive, but when it's so easy too, and when it's so fun, and you wake up to that incredible smell of fresh baked bread. If you want to add in his brand new coffee, then you can wake up every morning to that amazing coffee and fresh baked bread. Every single day. I mean, Chef, you would think of that. You would think of that as being something like a luxury. Instead, this is $20 on your credit card and free shipping and handling. But again, if you want the turquoise, final 100 now in the turquoise. Which one is selling the fastest, Pat?
Okay.
Which color? The white. Okay, you guys are loving the white. You know, it just looks so fresh and clean in your kitchen. Again, yogurt you can make in here. Fresh made yogurt. If you price just a yogurt maker, just price it, okay? Everything's done right in here. Rice pudding, you can make it here. So white, black, and the turquoise available at the moment, but the turquoise is just about to go.
So, Alice, I'm lifting the lid here and just giving you a little sneak peek of that kneading process. Can you imagine trying to do this by hand?
No.
And by the way, it'll cycle through, depending on the bread that you're making, maybe for 10, 20 minutes of kneading, then it'll stop. It'll let that yeast go to work and it'll let it prove. It'll give gentle warming. And then eventually, once it's proved and it's doubled in size and it's looking airy and perfect, it then bakes it at a really high temperature. It's a labor-intensive process if you do it manually. Now, the reason we've given you 3 weight options, you might be at home alone and just want to make a little loaf. This bread will go stale, I promise you, because you're not going to put any preservatives in there. So in a couple of days, it will go stale. That's why if you're home alone, just make a small little loaf, a little 1 pounder. If you're cooking for the whole family, you'll make the bigger loaf, of course. So, you know, it's very, very simple and easy to use. We've got pizza dough coming out of here as well. I mean, imagine that beautiful fresh pizza dough as well, Alice. It's just so wonderful. And here we go. I'm going to take that out and have a look how simple this is. It feels a little sticky to begin. You can dip your hands in just a little flour, but you're going to stretch that pizza dough and it's going to turn into a beautiful big pizza in no time whatsoever. So, you know, you're able to make wonderful pizza at home. When was the last time you made beautiful fresh pizza? It's a bit like making beautiful fresh bread. Nothing like the stuff you get in at the store. And like I said, you know, in seconds, you can make deep dish, you can stretch it right out and do a nice thin one, totally up to you. So whether it's the pizza dough you come into it for, or whether it's that gluten-free bread, I mentioned it earlier and I'll show it to you right now. It comes out just like that. Thanks, Vanessa. It's still a little bit warm when it comes out, so just use a towel to wrap around it. But you can see there, clean as a whistle, the non-stick just releases it perfectly. By the way, Alice, you see me cut on my new cutting boards. It's a 2-pack, so you get the small and the large. And I've got my, first of all, when was the last time you had that sound coming out of gluten-free bread, right? Because normally it sounds like cardboard, doesn't it?
Right.
So you can cut it this way.
Yeah.
And it totally falls apart. Now look at that.
Right.
I mean, it is just perfect.
Yeah, it is perfect.
And you know what? I'm very Aussie like this. I always like a little butter on my bread. I'm sorry, Alice, I just can't help myself. I know that, you know, the Italians like a little olive oil on theirs, but I still like a little butter on mine, my love. And I tell you,
I'm right there with you. A little butter, a little honey, we're all good. Listen, I need to give you an update on everything, okay? If you want this very popular in this hour,